Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Reforged leaked information. Now, I do have to thank Economics for today's video because I took my screenshots from his video because they were very clear and easy to show on the channel. So check out Ecos if you haven't already. With that being said, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Reforged version 2 sneak peek that Wargaming has shown to the CCs, and I will be letting you know my personal feelings, opinions, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, some of you that were very quick to clicking on my video I posted a couple weeks back will probably have already seen the look of the new tech trees that Wargaming has been working on. And that's because I actually got sent screenshots from the secret server Wargaming was getting this information posted in. However, I didn't realize at the time that it was NDA, and I didn't want to cause problems with Wargaming, so I simply unlisted the video and told Wargaming that, yeah, I unlisted it so that there's no problems there. So now that the information has been posted by another content creator, especially a CC at the current time, I don't see any problem for me posting it, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, on the main page here, we can see that Wargaming has changed the overall look of the garage. Now, the garage itself is pretty similar, but we can see that there's now a tech tree option here instead of a set. There is a set option as well, but there's also a tech tree. So you have both. You have tech tree and set. That's nice. I mean, it's in a different spot. Tech tree used to be over here, so it'll take a little bit getting used to, but at least we have a tech tree option, right? So for any of us players that aren't new to the game and we're not going to get used to the sets as easily, being able to immediately look at a tech tree is a nice thing. They have also fixed the icons at least a bit for the tanks in the bottom of the garage. For any of you that remember the old icons, they were like 30% larger than this because Wargaming had those goofy these things, the little like set icons. They had them next to the tank on every single tank, and it ate up like 30% of the screen real estate. So now that those have been removed, it looks more like our normal garage. This is good. I will say the UI of the garage looks fine. It looks pretty similar to our current Blitz. It'll take a little bit getting used to with the different locations of the buttons, but in general, I have no problem with the UI of the game. But we'll have to see what else they're doing, right? So this here is the filters tab. That's what happens when you press this little button right there. It's going to pull up this little filters tab. And when you pull up the filters tab, you got a couple things. So we have tiers 1 through 7. Then we got the classic tier. And then we have factions instead of nations. So we've got the normal ones, America, Germany, Russia, France, what is that, Czech. We have Italy, Poland, we got China, the UK, Japan, Sweden, Finland. I don't know what that flag is. Which no, I don't know. We got the point is like we got some flags which we all know about, and then we move on to flags that like what are these, bro? What is this? The Australia flag, the Canada flag. So that's going to be simply for two tanks, the Ram 2 and the Sentinel. And the RAAC, I guess, as well. But like that's it. What are these ones? We got like Blitz Nations down here. I don't know what these are at all. We got some goofy like I don't know. Are these supposed to be seasons? We got like a Pirates flag here. That's the Titan one. I know what that is. That's Titan. I think that's Defender, actually. If I'm not mistaken, that's the Defender logo. I don't know. But in general, we got a bunch of interesting icons here. We got like a Mad Games icon. I'm not sure what this means. I'm not sure what this means. And we're going to have to see what exactly these icons are more in the future. But it is a little confusing. I think we should just leave it at the current nations we have, plus like the Blitz Nation. I think that's as simple as it should be, but you can let me know your personal feelings. I don't think we need to have two separate flags for two single tanks in the game, but what do I know? It's better than the previous filter options, I will say that, because the previous one had sets instead of factions, so I'm glad they've brought back nations into the game, but it's still, I think this still needs a little bit of refining. One thing that I will say that also needs to be changed is the tiering system. It needs to be the way the game is currently tiered. Tier 10 should not be reverted to Tier 7, right? For any of you that are unaware, we can see all of the tanks down here. M6 Show, Concept 1B, E4, XM, they're all Tier 7. All the Tier 10s are going to be Tier 7. And it's going to be really annoying because it means any video I've posted for the past 5 years of content creation is now going to be weird, because if I say the tier 10 Leopard 1, well, in, whenever, I don't know when Reforged is going to be released, but when it does get released, why are we changing the tier? Like, I get it. If you want to remove the lower tiers, then do that. But just make it so the game starts at tier 3 then, instead of, like, you don't need to move them all down, right? Leave tier 10 as tier 10, and then make it so the game just starts at tier 3, and that's it, right? And then tier 1 and 2 are like collectors or something. I don't know. But the point being, right, I don't fully agree with the way that wargaming is changing the tiers, because for players like myself, for players like Flossie, who know every in and out of this game, it's going to be incredibly annoying now that we're going to have to think about what tier we're playing, right? You can ask me any tank what tier it is: Smasher, tier 7, Electo, tier 4, Vindicator, tier 7, M30, tier 8, right? You can ask me tier 9s, Conf Panzer 70 ton, it doesn't matter, Lorraine 50 ton, right? I can tell you they're all tier 9, but now I have to think, okay, well, the Lorraine 50 ton's a tier 9, which means it's actually, what, a tier 6 now. Like, why? Why do I have to do that math in my brain? A tier 7 is now a tier 4 now. Like, why do I have to do this math? And I'm gonna have to do this over and over and over for like a year until I can remember this. Why? Why do we need to do this? I don't understand that change, wargaming. I really don't. But maybe that's just my nitpick. You guys can let me know. Now we have the tech tree changes, okay? So we can see what they're doing with the tech trees here. And literally what they're doing is what I thought they were going to do. I remember when they told us, I still have the news. Do I still have the yeah, notes list? Let me see if I can still find it. But essentially, I had this list of all the changes that Wargaming was doing to, okay, well, my notes died. Never mind. I guess I won't be able to pull it up right now. But essentially, I had this whole list of changes that Wargaming said they were going to do to Reforged, and they said they were going to put sets into the tech tree. And this is what my brain envisioned Wargaming doing. And that's literally what they did. They took sets and put them on the tech tree. Now, this is better. I will agree. I think we can all agree this is better than what it originally was. And this might be the best we're going to get from Wargaming, so you guys can let me know what you think. I'm not going to say that I hate this, but it's just, personally, to me, it still looks weird. Like, I don't understand why the T-29 starts here. Why are there no vehicles behind the T-29, right? This is what I have a problem with Wargaming. Why is the M6, T1 Heavy, and M3 Lee, why are these three tanks not just here? And why are they not connected to this set? Why do we need to make two separate sets for this, right? That's a waste. Same thing for the M7 Yo. Like, I get it, you guys want to make different sets for different branches, but it's just confusing to me that you are having a tank line start at tier 4. Like, it's just weird to me, right? The T25 AT and the Jackson are the same way, right? We have the M8A1, Wolverine, and the Hellcat, and that's it. It just stops at the Hellcat. When it should go from the Hellcat to the T25 2, and then make its way up to the E4. But instead now it's just a tier 1, 2, and 3, and that's it. Like, that to me is still confusing. I don't love the way that you guys have decided to do this, personally. Now, it looks like you can also hide the sets, each individual one, if you want to click on the icon here, but it's better. I will agree. I will agree. I'm not going to be like the biggest Debbie Downer and say, this sucks. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. But, like, I still think that there needs to be some refining done here, Wargaming. I would remove half of the sets that you have in the game, like this one, and I would just combine it into these two trees here. That's what I would do. But that's my personal opinion, right? I'm pretty sure most people will agree with that, but that's how you want to do it. This here, I don't know exactly what I'm looking at here. This doesn't look great. It starts as the M8A1, goes to the Wolverine T67. Why is there like this massive branch here that drags on to the Hellcat? I don't know what I'm looking at here. You guys said you wanted to make the game look more streamlined, and this to me, I literally don't know what I'm looking at. It looks like string cheese. This needs to be fixed. I don't know what's going on here, why they're like dragged on like this, but I don't like it. This looks awful. So I hope that you guys fix whatever this is here. And then this is kind of everything. Okay, so this showcases a whole bunch of it, right? This is so at the top, Wargaming did actually listen to me. I told them that they should have a toggleable thing that has premium and non-premium. And they did listen. I will give them credit. They listened to me on this. So good job, Wargaming. But, at the top it says show premium and collectible. And then what it does is if you turn it on, it shows the premium tank And if you turn it off, it looks like this. So I will give them credit. That is better. I still don't like the way that the premiums kind of branch down like this. I think that it should still be a separate tree of premiums and whatnot, but I get the way Wargaming's trying to do it. They're trying to make it so that, the set has the premiums in it as well. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. I'm not going to say that I hate the way they've done the UI for Reforged here. It's better. It's definitely better. Do I want this to be our next version of Blitz? I still think, I'm going to be honest, I think most of you are going to agree. I still think the way we currently have our tech trees designed are better. As I said, literally put a toggleable button at the top of our current tech trees, and it swaps over to premiums, and you can look at all the premiums in the game, and you can spend a set amount of gold on them instead of having to buy a set. I don't like the idea of sets coming into the game. While Wargaming is changing the UI, as of now, I don't know if there's going to be any changes to the way sets are designed. As in, you still need to use keys to unlock sets, which means that if you're a player that doesn't have all the sets unlocked, you have to spend money on them, and then you still have to grind them out like a normal tech tree, right? That's a problem. So there's still a lot of problems which need to be talked about in Reforged. Yes, the UI is an issue, which I do take problem with, but the UI is not the biggest problem for me. It's the addition of steel, it's the addition of keys, currencies that we don't need in the game that further confuse and dilute the amount of money you need to spend in the game. These are problems that need to be talked about. The fact that you can spend money or spend gold, right? Let's say you buy a T28 HTC. If you buy that tank, you can then spend more gold on that vehicle to increase its credit profitability. Isn't the whole point of buying a premium so that it earns the most potential credits? And now you have to spend more more gold to then increase its credit earning potential further than that? Why are we doing this, right? There's still a lot of things which I do not agree with, and while Wargaming is fixing these things, there's still a lot of those things which need to be talked about. So, yes, Wargaming, you have done a better job. I will agree that this is pretty good. It's close, okay? I still think that you should try and remove some of the sets, right? We don't need a set with 3 tanks in it. That's just a waste. Remove the set, drag it into the Jackson, or drag it into the T25 AT, and have it start here and combine some sets, right? We don't need, like this one here again, why did the M3 Elite T1 Heavy? Just drag it onto the T29, and then the M7 Yo can be its own set. But at least remove some of these useless, like, 3 tank sets. Nobody's going to get them. It's a waste of time, right? So that's my personal opinion. You guys can let me know your feelings in the comments down below. Either way, this is good news, but there's still a lot of problems which I want Wargaming to tell us about, which we haven't heard information about yet. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!